Well, good morning, good afternoon, good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Carmen McNeil Klingscales, and I am so excited because today we are honoring the 2023 recipient of the Leonard McNeil Memorial Scholarship. So before I bring her up to the stage here, I'll just tell you a little bit about why this scholarship is so important. So it's the Leonard McNeil Memorial Social Activism Scholarship. And just so you know a little bit about Leonard McNeil, who just happens to be my father, passed in 2019, and we established this scholarship to really help his legacy live on. He started his 50 plus years of social activism in 1968 when he started the Black Student Union at Fresno State University. In that same year, he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL, got to football camp. They heard that he was a rebel rouser and they sent him home. And so since then, my dad just continued his social activism. In the 80s, he became the very first African-American elected to the San Pablo City Council, subsequently became the first mayor of the city of San Pablo as well. So he just has so many accolades through his writing, through his activism, through his journalism. And so it's really, really important that we continue this legacy of social activism. So on behalf of the McNeil family, I am just so excited to welcome the incredible Audra Golddie Williams. Welcome, Golddie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for the beautiful invitation, the warm welcome, and for being a recipient.
Yes, yes. So, we're going to start off by, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. I am a mom. I'm a grandmom, and I am currently a college student. I've worked in corporate America over 35 years, focusing in human resources. My current jam, as I say, which has been my jam for a while, I do DEI work, or diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am a brand new learner of spades, the card game. Don't try to revoke my black card, I'm just learning. And I also love to sing, but I love to dance more than I do anything. And I'm a cheer coach at a high school.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, as a graduate of Contra Costa College myself, I know that the community college experience was really instrumental in my development. And so share a little bit about your experience at CCC and how it has helped your personal and your academic journey.
Absolutely. For me, I would say Contra Costa College is instrumental for me as well. And I say is because I'm going to be connected to them forever. I actually entered Cal State Hayward back in 1986. And then I also took classes at Laney and another university, another two-year university. So I had some experience, but it was a long time since I had been in higher learning, other than taking specific courses for specific things. Contra Costa, literally, they say this and they talk about being like a family, and it's true. They literally want you to feel included. So when I came back to school, it was different. It felt like they wanted me to succeed. It felt like they cared about me. They paid attention to me. I'm a student with disabilities, and there's different areas where I had to get extra support, and it was there. So it was different. It was kind of foreign. And at first I felt like something's wrong. This isn't real. And a specific thing that I can say is that a lot of times people say that Black people aren't good with math. And a lot of times we subscribe to that. So I started saying, yeah, I'm not good with math. I've been saying that for years, yet I got to pre-calculus in high school. There's no way I could get to pre-calculus if I'm not good with math. But I believe the hype that Black people aren't good with math, I'm not good with math. And I had told my kids, I kind of put that into them. At Contra Costa, I took statistics and I was getting straight A's and doing really well. And then a life situation happened that was huge, and it impacted me as well as the rest of my family, and my situation changed. And then I was struggling because I was having to work and be in school, and it was just very difficult. And what ended up happening is my professor believed in me. I went to a math lab. They believed in me. I went to this thing called, it's over the summer where they prepare you about math and they're talking to you about math. And all of a sudden I fell in love with math. And I realized, wait, I always liked math. Like how did I subscribe and start believing this myth and this lie that I'm not good at math? I love math. Math has a lot of absolutes. But what happened is through Contra Costa College and that program and that teacher and all the counselors that were involved, they would say affirmations that I didn't realize they were saying. And even when I was struggling, there's times where I just wanted to quit, and times more than one time I had to quit. They were so positive and so certain I was going to graduate. One, I thought they were crazy. I thought they were wrong. But they, just like I started to believe the myth, which was an untruth about math, I started to believe the truth about myself as a student. So what I would say bigger than anything, whether it was a friend that I bumped into, someone I barely knew that I bumped into, a counselor, even my academic counselors, my disability counselors, like my EOP, as counselors, every counselor that I had was rooting for me. And I started to believe the hype that they believed.
That is amazing. Just the support, right? The network. Now, I happen to know that you went on an amazing trip this summer. And that, based upon my understanding, was because of you being a student at Contra Costa College. So share with the people a little bit about what that was.
Oh my gosh. So Professor Memorial Scholarship, he has a trip that he goes on every year, and he goes to Kemet, or ancient Egypt. And when he goes, it's different than anything you would expect. So when I was his student, I heard about it, but something happened, and I don't know if they went that year or what happened, but I didn't get the opportunity to go. I was in his class. Well, I was still a student, and I got invited, and I actually got a scholarship to go. So they paid for everything and allowed me to participate. And like a lot of times when people are asking me questions about it now, I'm able to explain it's a work study trip. And if you don't know, Professor Manuel ain't playing. So it's not for the weak, but you can prepare for it. And what I mean by that is you're walking anywhere from 4 to 8 miles a day. There's days where it was 117-degree weather. But the thing is, it's so worth it in more than one way. Well, the biggest thing that I come back with, there's so much, but one of the things that just sticks out to me is I got to see hieroglyphics, artifacts, the pyramids, the tombs, temples in person firsthand. And no matter what anyone ever tells me, I have pictures that I've shared with my family that will continue on. There are hieroglyphics with people as dark as that vase behind you, that are on the color, it's black. It's not brown, it's not ruddy, it's black. And they're in the hieroglyphics. And it made me realize that I've never seen that before. I've seen lots of hieroglyphics, but I had never seen that. So the beauty of this trip, the professor is so knowledgeable and educated. Like that's his specialty. He goes there every year. We were on, I think it was number 15 when we went. Was it 16? I think it was 15 or 16. And when we went, I can't even begin to tell you the things we learned about culture. And there's things, again, lies and myths that we hear about Africa, or we hear about our culture. And here we are meeting people in the village of Nubia, not like by way of firsthand in someone's home. And we're talking to the village elder, and he's talking about the relationship of women in the culture. And you're hearing how strong, how revered they are, how much they're looked at. And it makes you realize that there's so much potential for us as a people. The food, I can't even begin to tell you. I had the best watermelon I've ever had in my life. And I would move back there just for that alone. But it was a phenomenal trip. You're on a trip with other scholars, and I walked away with a wealth of knowledge.
What a blessing. What an opportunity. And I'm so thrilled that you took advantage of that. That is absolutely fantastic. So Golddie, you are currently studying at Cal State East Bay. You're studying ethnic studies with a specialization in Black studies, which is so fantastic. And, it can be a lot of hoops to jump through to transfer, right, from the community college system into, a four-year college or university. So what was it like, preparing for the transfer process?
The transfer process, certain aspects are direct and clear. Some are not. And what I mean by that is I'm a student with disabilities, but it's specific to my comprehension. So I can read something, and if I miss one little piece, I walk away not realizing I need to do that piece. Or something can come along and I get overwhelmed because I'm trying to figure out, what do I prioritize? What should I be doing? What I'll say is that I had a counselor who literally understood my style, and I think she's similar in her style of understanding as I was. So the way she would lay things out, I was very clear in what was needed and what I had to do next. So what I would say initially, I was just kind of taking classes. I've always said every counselor I had was great. They just had different qualities. So I would understand portions of it. And when I didn't understand, I would just, I'm gonna be honest, I would go like, okay, I don't get it, but I don't need to know that right now. Let me just do this part and I'll come back. Then it got to a certain space where I really understood what was required and what was necessary. And then it allowed me to hone in on those things and focus. And what I would say to anyone that's going to transfer is, I don't care what happens. I don't care what situation arises. Do not give up. Do not be dismayed. Speak up, share what's going on, and you'll be surprised at the support you can get. If you don't know how to fill out forms, someone can help you. If you're confused at what your next step is, someone can help you. If you need to know what classes are best in terms of your major, in terms of what's going to transfer, there's someone there literally in, I can really all the counseling departments, but there's someone that can help you. There's a whole unit area that's specifically assigned to transfers. And I would get emails on a regular basis, just reminding me of things. Hey, here's the application process. Here's the timeline for this. Don't forget to submit that. So there's a lot of reminders, and even so make sure you're getting those reminders. And if you're not, sign up. But even if you are, tap in with somebody who, and be honest, for me, you can send me 3 emails and all this other stuff, and I heard it, I hear it, and I understand it, but I really don't get some pieces. So for me, I had to figure out a system that worked for my learning style so that I would know I had everything. It's pretty straightforward. There's some areas, sometimes it felt difficult. There are moments where I was anxious and I was nervous because I'm like, am I going to have everything I need? Am I going to be able to transfer? Even to the last minute, sometimes it's interesting. I feel like the universe wants me to intentionally overcome, because just when I think I've overcome something huge comes that could potentially derail me and just stop the process. And still there's that support where you overcome. So one of the things I'll keep saying to people every time I talk about academics is, no matter what's going on, keep pushing forward.
Fantastic. Well, you answered my next question, which was going to be, what's the best piece of advice that you would have, to give other community college students who are also, trying to pursue their educational goals? Catering to your learning style is like one of the best pieces of advice. Anything else you would like to share with current students about suggestions?
Definitely. One thing that I'm going to say is, don't give up. I don't care if you have to take half a class. That's not realistic. I mean, it's facetious. I don't care if you have to take one class at a time. I want to cite 2 different things. One thing that happened was, I was at my church, and on a regular basis, I would help youth get to college. So whether I was giving my own money, helping with the fundraiser, and even once they would go off to college, I would check on them. Hey, if you need anything, I would tell them, I'll help you, or I'll pray and find out and get the help for you. So one day I looked up and they were coming back from college. And I'm like, that time went by that fast. And it just kept happening for years. And I realized, here I am helping all these people go to college, helping sustain them in college, and I'm not in college. So I realized, you know what, I'm going to go back. And just saying I was going to go back and even signing up and starting didn't mean it was a smooth ride. Again, like I talked about, there were huge, and I mean, I don't even want to go into it, huge things that happened in my life multiple times. In one instance, I had to stop, like I had to quit mid-semester. I was on academic probation twice, 2 different times, came back, and then from there went on to be on the honor roll. So when I say don't quit, persevere. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what you have to do. And what people kept saying to me was, keep going. So for me, I'm going to keep going. So no matter what comes up, don't compare yourself to anyone else. All of us have our own journey and our own path. Don't worry about how fast someone else goes, or I'm embarrassed because I'm this age. I'm 54, I'll be 55 in January. So I am a returning learner and I'm not embarrassed. I'll tell it to the world and I'm not done. So I would say, don't quit, don't give up. If and when circumstances happen, roll with that, but keep going. Even if it's a class at a time, just like those students that I was helping go, after years, it's going to add up. And that's when I decided, okay, I'm going. And when I had to stop or take little classes, I did. And when I could go full, I did. And now I'm to the next level. So just don't give up.
Woo, these are gems that you are dropping, Sister Golddie. Thank you so much for encouraging, other students who, are trying to pursue their educational and professional goals as well. So as you know, the focus of this scholarship is all about social activism, and that's just a part of who my dad was. I mentioned some of his achievements and efforts, in the intro. And some of the things that he did, were leading the charge against obesity, later serving on the board of the wastewater district, helping to be a voice for employees. So, social activism was definitely a part of who he was. And there are many ways that people can be socially active. So what does social activism mean to you?
For me, I think social activism is necessary. And a lot of times people think, oh, somebody else will take care of it. Someone else will do it. Or I'm too busy, or I'm a single mom, I'm a single dad. I am a certain social economic level. I'm struggling myself. So how can I help someone else? I personally think it's something everyone should be doing, and in different ways, whatever way you can. I think it's first personal and then it becomes global. And what I mean by that is, what can I do individually? How can I help others? And then how can I connect to other people that are doing this kind of work in different ways? One thing I love that you talked about your father, he clearly had a political mind. And there's some people that'll say politicians are corrupt, voting doesn't matter. But the truth is, not voting is a vote. Let's just be honest about it. And the truth is, even if I don't trust that politician, that system is still in place to come against me if I don't use my voice to speak against it. So I don't think of voting purely as voting for a person. I think about voting for me, letting my voice speak. I'm going to advocate for myself first. It's personal. And that's part of social activism to me. What do I believe? I'm a Black woman. I am a person with disabilities. I am a person that's over a certain age. I'm a person with children. I am a grandmother. Those are the things that some of the identities that I show up as. So to me, it's first personal. And then I'm a mother of a son. I have a Black son. So it's personal for me. There are certain things that are really important that are personal. And I could go on through my personal list, just through my family. I think that there are several things and there's several ways. So I'm not going to cover them all. I'm going to just tell you some of the things I think are important that your dad believed in as well. I think it's okay to get into some good trouble. I think it's okay to be a rebel rouser. Some of us, I tell people, God called me and my family to be whistleblowers. And sometimes as a whistleblower, it gets tiresome because it's like things happen to us. And when they happen to us, we go, all right, we ain't taking this. We blow the whistle, right? We blow the whistle and then other people are helped by that. So I think that political activism is really important because like I ran for school board and I'm not done with politics necessarily. I don't know. I'm not ready to run right now. I have other things to do, but I may return someday. But even if I don't run, I'm always looking at policies. I'm always looking at laws. I'm looking at how can I support someone else to run? How can I support a law or help get a law taken down? I'm looking at and being civic minded. What's going on in the world around me in my city and what's near me? What's going on in California? What's going on in the United States? What's going on in the world to figure out where do I land and are there things that need my help that are bigger than me? I also think that basic needs are really important. Basic rights are very important. We talk about education, that's definitely a right. I have a thing hugely about folks that have any kind of food, they're having food disparity. They don't have food resources, housing. So I think that social activism literally changes our world. There are things that we can do. There are things that your father did going back to him starting at BSU. It's still here. That was in 1960, right? It's still there. And there's more people coming in. Our legacy matters. And that's one big word I would say. What is your legacy? What is your imprint? People always talk about your carbon imprint. They talk about your eco imprint. What is your social activism imprint? And the reality is it could be as simple as everyone has different roles. So if someone else has a great organization, you have an organization called Power to the Period. Someone can go join that. I have a nonprofit called Got Gold. Someone can go and help there. There's established organizations in the community that are helping people, figuring out what matters to you. The unhoused. How can I do my own coat drive, or can I do a coat drive with other people? People are hungry. Can I help the schools hand out lunches during the school day? I think that when I say it's personal, I don't think people should just do anything. I think they should do something that is important to them. Your dad found things that he was passionate about. So he did it without anybody telling him. And even when it was difficult, and even when he didn't feel like it, and even when he was tired, you're a product of who he was. Your brother's a product of who he was, because he worked tirelessly and he pushed no matter what. It caused a ripple effect to affect y'all and affect those around him. There are people, I'm certain, that are going to say, when he was a mayor, he did this. And I think sometimes getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Your civic duty or being a social activist doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean people are going to even say thank you. But if you're doing something that's important and it's going to build a legacy, not just for people to remember you, but when I say your legacy, not just list the things that are good about me. I hope my legacy is that I affected change in people's lives and in the world around me.
Indeed. More finger snaps on that one. More finger snaps on that one. So Golddie, you shared a little bit about this in the beginning, but aside from school and work, what do you enjoy doing?
Not enough. I'll tell you some things I like to do, and I am honestly going to say I have recently actively said it's time for me to really dig in deeper to my fun side. Some things that I like doing just for me. I actually am really interested in spoken word. I wrote poetry since I was a little girl. My sister, Patrice, always said I would be a writer, but I've never done spoken word. So I'm going to say spoken word. I love listening to music of almost any genre. You could put on a polka and I'm going to find the beat in it. And I love dancing. So I'm going to actually sign my granddaughters up for dance. So vicariously, I'll get to experience that with them. And now that you said this, I may just go find me a dance class.
Do that. Yes, absolutely. Because that balance is important, right? Absolutely. So I'm glad that you can make a commitment to yourself in terms of your self-care. So Golddie, what does receiving this scholarship mean for you?
I have to blink a little bit so I don't cry.
And crying is fine and welcomed.
I know. I have other stuff going on, so I might tap in somewhere and it's just ruin the whole interview. What I'll say is, as a student, there are so many things that you need. So before I even get to the financial piece of it, receiving it meant that I did something that somebody else deemed good enough to receive an accolade. And even though we may go around giving accolades to so many people, every human being has a need to be appreciated. And every human being can benefit from being told good things. So the first thing was like, I'm gonna be very honest, I was in shock. Like, I had more than one scholarship and was like, though I applied, I don't know if I thought I would get any scholarships. So the first thing was being accepted. But when you read what's listed about this scholarship, it was huge to me, because when I read it, I was like, that's my life. This is who I am. This is just what I do. I've been doing this since a little girl. That's just who I am. But again, I had no thought of winning and receiving it. So the first thing is just someone saying, stamping approval. And then someone saying, I want to invest in your future. So now when we get down to simplicity, for me, it literally means that I can, remember I said, keep going. This is one of the things that's going to allow me to keep going. I don't have to stop. I don't have to quit. I don't have to go and figure out, okay, how am I going to pay this? Okay, I'm going to take off a semester and I'll be back. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. I've stopped so many times, and I'm grateful for a scholarship that helps me not have to stop. It's going to, for me specifically, it's going to help with literally the daily things that I need to do to be able to live, to be able to go to school. It's going to literally help me pay for my internet. It's going to literally help me pay for books. Literally, all the cost that it costs for school, it's going to go towards me being able to get there. It's going to go towards me being able to be present. And it's an honor. It's truly an honor to receive this. And going back to what we talked about with Contra Costa College, I don't think you asked this question, but their process for scholarship is very simple. So I don't care who you are, go for it. Share your story, be transparent, talk about what you're doing, because so many of us are so used to not getting accolades or think, oh, it's going to be considered bragging. Telling your story might be the thing that keeps you going in school, and it's the thing that someone was able to hear, to be able to come and say she embodies all of the things that this scholarship represents. It also means to me that I get to be part of a legacy of a phenomenal man and a phenomenal family. And to think that they thought me special enough to receive it is huge. And then on the other side, I want to be a donor. It doesn't matter. I have to contribute, because the reality is this opportunity is going to keep me in school where I'll be able to continue. And what does that look like? I'm somebody who's out in them streets. What does that mean? I do social activism, but guess what? The more education I get, the better I'm able to serve my community. So by receiving this award, it literally goes and speaks directly to the same work that your father did and his legacy stands for, and connects my legacy to it, which means just like he reached back to someone because he did the work and y'all created this in his memorial, his legacy reached back to me. I owe to reach back to the next person. So for me, I think it means the world. It means me being able to stay in college. And it means I get to tell my kids and grandkids about it. And I like I said, I'm at a high school, so I'm always sending folks to Contra Costa College. And they can also apply for this, because I'm always talking about your social justice and your social activism imprint. And just frankly, I look forward to the opportunity to contribute so that someone else can experience what I'm going to experience.
Ooh, I can't give you enough finger snaps on that one. I saw you take a deep breath. Yes, exhale, sis. Absolutely. You are amazing. On behalf of the McNeil family, I just want you to know how proud we are of you. Yes, let it release, sis, how much love that we have for you, how much we want to uplift you, how much we want you to stay in communication with us so that we can continue, because sis, your best is yet to come. And if my dad was here, he would give you a big old hug.
Oh.
You know, he was 6'4". And he would say, press on. That was his slogan, press on. So you are indeed a model of perseverance, and we so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for choosing me as the recipient, and thank you for the gift of my education.
You are so welcome. And for our viewers out there, we definitely want you to give what you can, contribute to the Leonard McNeil Social Activism Scholarship. It's at Contra Costa College. The foundation administers it. It's amazing. We want to continue to support more fantastic students like Golddie. And I will share, I'm gonna go on a limb because I'm gonna make a bold statement that we would love to reach endowment status. Now, endowment status means that we have $10,000 in the fund. And when we get there, that means the scholarship can just live on forever, just keep giving and giving and giving. So Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We're going to put some information up so that you will know exactly how to make your contribution. Nothing is too small, and certainly nothing is too large. So whatever you can contribute so that we can continue supporting amazing students like Golddie, we are welcome and invite you to do so. So thank you so much.